seriously injured.
I'm Vicky Barker in London. After this morning's car and stabbing rampage at a Manchester synagogue, Scotland Yard confirming
Counter-terrorism policing has declared this as a terrorist incident.
Police are being praised for their speedy response. 3 minutes after the first emergency call, specialist armed officers were being scrambled. 7 minutes after, they shot the suspect dead.
2 other people arrested in that case. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports European leaders are trying to counter Russia's aggressive drone behavior.
Denmark's prime minister opened the meeting.
Russia will not stop until they are forced to do so. And they are a threat, not only to Ukraine, but to all of us.
She said peace with Russia can only be achieved through strength.
We have to make our common Europe so strong that war against us becomes unthinkable.
Here at home, CBS's Nicole Skanga has more on the Trump administration's troop push in several American cities.
The National Guard is expected to arrive in Portland imminently. We also know that the National Guard is expected to arrive in Memphis within the next few days or so. What we know at this point is that they won't be armed or masked. They also won't be making any arrests. Instead, that's going to fall largely on law enforcement.
On day 2 of the government shutdown, the White House is poised to order layoffs and cut Democratic programs. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
It's likely going to be in the thousands, and that's something that the Office of Management and Budget and the entire team at the White House here, again, is unfortunately having to work on today. These discussions and these conversations, these meetings would not be happening if the Democrats had voted to keep the government open.
An immigration judge has denied Kilmar Abrego Garcia's bid for asylum. He can appeal. CBS's Michael Wallace.
He was first denied asylum in 2019, but a judge did not deport him to El Salvador at the time because a gang there was targeting his family. When the Trump administration deported Abrego Garcia this past March, the Supreme Court ordered he be brought back, after which he was immediately charged with human smuggling.
A Royal Caribbean cruise ship that docked this morning in Miami was not a pretty sight. This passenger says the norovirus hit hard.
The last time I looked, they said there were like 98 people, but my guess is there were probably hundreds of people. Hundreds. My wife told me she went to the ladies' restrooms and we're all pretty messed up.
Checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 54 points. The S&P is down 4. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How investigators say a couple of men stole $40,000 worth of gas. But first, KIRO News Radio. In Woodinville, a crash is blocking a lane on State Route 522 westbound at Northeast 195th. You are backed up onto State Route 9. A disabled vehicle is blocking a lane on State Route 167 southbound near State Route 516. That is in Kent, and there's just a slight backup there. Construction has you slow on the I-90 bridge eastbound. Otherwise, travel times are looking pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 52 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 58. Renton to Bellevue, 36. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. No more crime scene photos from the murders of 4 University of Idaho students will be released unless images of their bodies or blood are completely blacked out. An Idaho judge made that ruling, siding with the victims' families. Evidence is being released now that their convicted killer, Brian Kohberger, has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. A daring move by a Seattle driver to try and avoid a carjacking.
Moments after 2 masked men forced open the victim's driver's side door in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, the 44-year-old chucked his car keys as far as he could. Police say one of the suspects then stabbed the victim in his leg before both suspects ran away and attempted another carjacking nearby. That second victim kept his doors locked. The man who was stabbed was treated at Harborview Medical Center for a minor injury. A bold move to chuck his keys, which neighbors later found and returned. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
2 men have been charged with felony theft after allegedly stealing over 10,000 gallons of fuel worth $40,000 from a gas station in Frederickson, Pierce County.
That's bonkers, though.
That reaction from a trucker. Deputies tell KIRO 7 TV the thieves manipulated the fuel pump counter so it slowed down even as the gas kept flowing. They were charged far less than they should have been. If your business has been affected by the closure of the 410 White River Bridge, you can now apply for a low-interest loan from the Small Business Administration. The closure means there's no direct access between Enumclaw and Buckley, cutting off some businesses from their customers.
Restaurants, storefronts, beauty services, those are typically the types of businesses that will see a fluctuation in customers and traffic.
Spokeswoman Lauren Hill says loans can help businesses continue to pay their employees and bills until the bridge reopens. The Seattle Mariners are staying sharp ahead of the playoffs. The second of two scrimmages will take place today in front of fans at T-Mobile Park. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez.
We've been playing a really long year, so any extra days that you can rest and kind of prepare and kind of get a little bit of a fresh start. I think it's huge for the team.
The Mariners will find out today who they'll face this Saturday in the American League Division Series. It'll be either the Detroit Tigers or the Cleveland Guardians. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 53 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, October 2nd. If you're new to the show, thank you for being here. Where you been? And you've always come here and be a part of the show. Thank you for always coming back. We got Nick on the ones and twos. Good morning to you, Nick. You good, brother?
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
Good morning to you. And then Chef. Chef, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing awesome.
Chef, before I get to this show today, I just want to ask you, when you make your decisions to decide which hat you're going to wear, how do you make that decision, bro?
Generally the one that's cleanest and kind of aligns with the color scheme of the rest of what I wear.
Okay, all right.
Marginally.
Okay, I just want to tell you, your hat game selection lately has been good. I have my three favorites, and man, I know Obliteride, Fred Hutch is one of them that you wear. Mm-hmm. That looks fantastic. Hey, we got a lot of good stuff going on the show today. Coming up at 9:47, it will be Would You Rather? That's Allie and Tacoma's favorite game. Coming up next at 9:33, we got Chris Sullivan coming in because, as you know, we got massive events that's happening downtown Seattle. He's going to come in and let us know what we need to know for the traffic and how to navigate throughout all of that. I am back on the text line today. I got a text from somebody personally that told me that I'm in a worse mood when I'm not with the text line. So if you want to text in, show me, talk some stuff on the side, let's do it. 888-973-5476. But right now, let's get to the news. Top stories of the day, brought to you by Batfitter Northwest.
Disturbing case out of Kennewick. Prosecutors say that a 14-year-old freshman at Kamiakin High had stockpiled guns, drawn up a map of targets, and even written a school shooting manifesto. Investigators say the plot came to light after someone in Florida flagged a TikTok video showing that map with high traffic areas of the school highlighted. The FBI traced it back, raided the boy's home, and found 24 firearms. The court documents, according to the Tri-City Herald, say that the boy had cracked his grandfather's gun safe and was caught on video handling at least 11 of them. So Benton County's top prosecutor was looking into charging him as an adult for attempted murder. That won't happen under Washington state law since he's only 14, not 15. And because of that, his maximum sentence would keep him locked up until 21. Meanwhile, another 14-year-old who was accused of helping hide one of those guns has already pled guilty and was sentenced to 40 days in juvenile detention, probation, and a lifetime ban on possessing firearms.
Let's get this started. First, before I weigh in on what Chef had to say right there, I have a question. Why does any household need 20-plus guns in the house? And I'm not asking that by judging. I really want to know. I genuinely want to know why somebody needs 20-plus firearms in one home. Text us, 888-973-5476. Now, on to this topic. Red flags are real. If we see it, we are living in a time where we should not shrug it off. Social media, where it used to be all about laughs and dances, and it continues to be, it's also a sign and can be a place where you can see danger show its face before anyone else does. Someone in Florida flagged this. The fact that they were on top of things, thank you. Next, a 14-year-old with access to 24 guns we're continue to hear about these stories, something that is more than just alarming. Stories like this are a real wake-up call. And here's the wake-up call. When I was leaving yesterday, I saw this news broke. It was on my Northwest. And as I was leaving, our wonderful person at the front desk that we all know and love, Patty, I said to Patty, I said, at 14 years old, what kind of thoughts did you have? And I'm not specifically picking on this young man at 14. I'm just trying to show and talk about how I believe that the thoughts of a 14-year-old today are dramatically different than the 14-year-olds that we were back in the day. I'm not saying we didn't get into mischief, because we did. No doubt we got into some trouble, did this wrong. We weren't perfect. But I got to tell y'all, collectively, I don't think things like shooting up anybody at 14 was a regular thing, was a normal thing. I'm asking you, when you were 14, did you ever have a thought like that? Like I never had a thought like this. So punishment alone won't save us from this situation. You want to talk about prevention? I don't know the answers to that, but we need early prevention and further proof that we need more safety in our schools. That needs to be a collectively team effort. Families, teachers, law enforcement, all of us together. And I'm so grateful for the person in Florida that saw this. So if you're on social media one day and you see something like something ain't right, don't shrug it off. Say something.
I got to give you two little bits of pushback on that. First of all, why would you need 24 firearms? Well, why do you need 24 pairs of shoes, right? For me, the issue is not how many guns you have, but whether a minor or someone who's not supposed to access those weapons can access them. And the court docs say the kid cracked the safe. That probably means he knew where Grandpa's key was. I'm going to guess that's the case. That is not secure storage if a minor can access them.
Chef, time out before you get to the second one. And by the way, bro, I love your pushbacks. Keeps me sharp. Keeps me going. Are you really going to set with comparing 24 pair of shoes to 24 firearms?
Yes.
Are you...
Yes.
Do you really feel that? Or are you really playing devil's advocate? Do you feel that? Come on now.
That's how I feel legally. I mean, personally, I don't feel a need to amass an arsenal. But there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, whether they just like collecting guns, think they're cool, gives them a sense of power, they have a legal right to do that. Okay. The second thing that I'd say is different is school shootings and mass shootings are contagious in the same way that suicides are, right? The media had to stop reporting on suicides, I think it was like early 2000s, because research showed as soon as the media would report on a suicide, there'd be a cluster impact, and around that area, there'd be an increase in suicides. It's the same thing. Nobody exhibited this behavior when you were growing up, but since Columbine, hey, every single disaffected 14-year-old angry boy or 13-year-old, like about 3 weeks ago in Parkland that had 23 guns, they have this idea now in their head that this is something that I can do.
Can I just tell y'all something that at 14, now that I was thinking about it, I don't know if I should probably say it on the air, but when I was 14 years old, I did get into mischief, but it had nothing to do with any gun. Maybe collecting ants or something? I don't know. Let's move on. What we got, man?
Did not collect ants. All right.
No. I did, bro.
You collected ants?
Yeah, fam.
Did they stay alive?
No. That's why I don't really want to talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Seattle is in the midst of a baby bust. The Seattle Times reporting that the city now has the second lowest fertility rate among major U.S. cities, just 31 births per 1,000 women over the last year. That's down 20 points since 2010. The only city with fewer baby bumps is Portland. Meanwhile, cities like Colorado Springs, Oklahoma City, Detroit have double Seattle's birth rate. And fun fact, Seattle is one of the few cities where women over 35 are having more babies than younger women.
Okay, first, I think that we're not surprised. I didn't even want to talk about this topic with SMN this morning, but Chef, for some reason, wanted to bring it up here. So, look, when birth rates fall, it's not just numbers. We're talking about the future. Selfishly, those looking, especially Gen Z, Social Security, hey, Nick, your Social Security, I don't know who's going to be paying into that thing for you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what the future of that is. That's crazy.
Because as y'all know, fewer kids today means fewer workers tomorrow and more pressure on Nick and his generations. But let's just specifically talk about this area right here. Right now in this area, it's not most people that aren't having kids. A lot of them, you have some that don't want to have kids. It's not that they don't want to have kids. There's a lot of folks walking around, they can't afford to have kids. Gen Z has learned and saw and learned from us, childcare, $1,500, $2,000 a month. Feeding them, sports, school supplies, back to school clothes. Like, it is really expensive to have children. Now, if a city only works for the single and the wealthy, then truth be told, we're talking about a Seattle area that's really not working for everybody. And I'm going to say this, Chef. If I were giving advice to someone like, my kids who are in their 20s, my daughter is 30, right? None of them live here in Seattle. And good. Because I got to tell you, it's tough living here. Like, the cost of living is real. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir here because you guys are listening to me and you're like, duh, G. Yes. It is tough to live here. You need to maybe have a roommate. You need to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend real fast. Or more importantly, you might say, hey, I'm not even leaving the house. I'm going to stay home with mom and dad. Either way, this is why people are maybe deciding not to have kids in this area.
Absolutely. Moving on, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office is springing some leaks. 11 deputies have jumped ship, making a lateral move to Tacoma PD. Union President Sergeant Sean Darby says, well, it's about the cash.
The only law enforcement agency that the Pierce County Sheriff's Office makes more than with all the jurisdictions in Pierce County is the Orting Police Department. Everybody makes more money than we do.
Darby warns that more departures could be seen before the year's end, and the Sheriff's Office themselves have nothing to say to KIRO News Radio about it.
Well, let's see here, Chef. I want to make sure I got your news right, sir. You just said, and we've known this was coming, that 11 deputies from Pierce County's Sheriff's Office are making a lateral move over to join the Tacoma Police Department. Now, a lot of people would say, well, gee, that makes sense because Pierce County Sheriff's Department is number 2 when it comes to pay for law enforcement, and Tacoma PD being number 1. Fair. Then why is it that it has always been that way? TPD has never been below the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Don't you all think that there might be a little bit more than just pay? Now, when people were leaving SPD, remember who was being blamed? The Seattle City Council, right? You guys remember that because they're doing their exit interviews and they were playing them right here, telling you all how they were leaving. They don't like the leadership in Seattle. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. these folks at the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, they aren't leaving to SPD. They're leaving to TPD. And why do I think they're leaving to TPD? Because leadership all starts from the top down. And when it stinks, it stinks. And I'm going to tell you this. The Pierce County Sheriff's Department have an awful leader at the helm. And speaking about leadership, let's talk about leadership. Leadership just isn't a title. No. Leadership is a calling. Anybody, you might be right now, you might have a boss that you have to report to. And you know that that boss is in that position because, I don't know, somebody picked them or somebody just put them in that role or they've been there a long time. But even though they are your boss in title, you know that their leadership skills are awful. Right now in Tacoma, officers are following Chief Patty Jackson, the interim chief of Tacoma PD. Question: when is the last time you have heard of Chief Patty Jackson in the news? I'll wait. Before I came on here, I made sure to look it up. I'll tell you what it was. All of the stuff that she's doing in the community with she and her officers. And that is what's happening because her leadership is impeccable. She is showing folks what it means to lead with vision, with courage, and she's a kind person, which makes her a kind leader. This isn't somebody who just wears a badge. She wears and carries responsibility. And this is the reason why people are following. So some will say, gee, this is personal. This ain't personal. I don't get a paycheck down there from Pierce County. But I say this all the time for the men and women that put on a uniform for Pierce County Sheriff's Department. My heart goes out to you because you don't have a good leader, period. People don't follow perfection. They follow direction.
Gee, just one question, because you said leadership is a calling. Who's to say that call can't come while you're in the hot tub?
Coming up at 9:47, we will be playing the game around the world called Would You Rather? But up next, Chris Sullivan is going to join us to explain how this weekend's massive events for sports are going to cause a little bit of traffic. So he's going to come in and explain it, what to do next. Gee Ursula.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile. Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
Those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
My name is Jack Lamb. I'm the CEO and owner here at Aslan Brewing Company in beautiful Bellingham, Washington. We're an organic brewery, about 80 employees. I'm a member of AWB because I know that they're advocating for me as a business. One of the greatest benefits of being a member of AWB is AWB's health choice. It's amazing. I mean, it beats all the other competition, all the other quotes I get for my insurance. We look to Health Choice to round out that compensation package to truly make it sustainable for us long term. When we know we have to save a lot of our money to give back to the community, this helps us really inject worth and value into our employees. I feel like I can trust Health Choice because it's backed by AWB and because AWB has always been there for me.
If you're looking for a great health plan for your employees, visit ProPointServices.com. Health Choice Trust is offered through the Association of Washington Business and powered by Primera Blue Cross.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Imagine homes so well designed and so luxurious, they'll be setting the standard for decades. Now imagine a sale saving $50,000 to $120,000. Stop imagining. Mainview Homes on sale across the Puget Sound.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kind of like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
It is ridiculous. It is irresponsible and dangerous.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson, as the federal government shutdown continues. He says Republicans have a bill that would fund the government, but it does not extend tax credits for health care. And without that, Democrats say millions of Americans would see their premiums skyrocket. Partisan politics is apparently showing up in emails from federal agencies explaining which services are open, closed, or delayed during the shutdown. This veteran says he got a message from the VA blaming Democrats.
Federal agencies should never be making political statements because they're supposed to serve all of us.
Navy veteran Daniel Bennett talking to KIRO 7 TV. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson has more on the impact of the federal government shutdown.
I checked in with housing services across Western Washington who say they will get their funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development to keep operating through at least October. The Passport Office, that is open, and the Department of Veteran Affairs says their hospital services are intact, while career, transitional, and certain support hotlines will go down until funding is restored.
You should still be able to receive your Medicare, Medicaid, or Affordable Care Act coverage during the shutdown. Overseas, police say a man drove into people outside a synagogue in Manchester, England, and then began stabbing people. Chief Constable Sir Stephen Watson.
We can confirm that 2 members of our Jewish community have sadly died as a result of this attack.
This comes on the holiest day of the Jewish year, Yom Kippur. Police are labeling it a terrorist attack and say anti-Semitic attacks have increased since the war in Gaza began. Israel says it is pressing forward with its operation in Gaza City to cripple Hamas terrorists. CBS's Deborah Patta says the situation is dire.
There are no international humanitarian organizations left in Gaza City after Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross suspended operations there, saying it is too dangerous.
Tens of thousands of civilians have died. A troubling new report shows the private sector in the U.S. lost 32,000 jobs in September. Analysts had expected gains. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 33 points. NASDAQ up 53. KIRO News Radio traffic. A crash is blocking a lane on the 520 bridge eastbound at Montlake. Not seeing a significant backup just yet, but you are slow on the I-90 bridge eastbound across Mercer Island. That's due to construction. In Woodinville, the crash has been cleared from State Route 522 westbound at Northeast 195th Street. And your travel times overall are pretty good. Everett to Seattle, 46 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 55. Renton to Bellevue, 41. Traffic brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the best place to watch all your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. EmeraldQueen.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 58 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Yeah, Nick, this is so good for Sully.
Oh, yeah. The Wild Thing's in the house.
He's in the house. Hey, coming up at 9:47, we played a game, Sweeping the World and the Land. It's called Would You Rather. Now, Sully is here. Sully, before you get into traffic and helping us out with this massive weekend, will you stick around and play the game Would You Rather with us?
Sure.
All right.
I'm not sure I'll be employed afterwards, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm game. Let's go.
Well, wait a minute. How come everybody's always worried about staying employed working with me?
Well, because whenever you play a game called Would You Rather, I mean, I've seen how that kind of goes online.
Yeah.
And so I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting into, but that's cool.
Hey, Sully, Chef was asking me during the break, this might be one of Seattle sports' biggest weekends. You were talking about the Mariners in the second round of the playoffs, the Seahawks playing against the Buccaneers, happening this weekend. Traffic. What do we need to know?
And we have the Sounders coming in on Saturday night as well, and the Sounders are playing Portland. They're rival.
The Timbers.
So the Timber, and that's always a really heavy game. We have a lot of people come up from Portland from that. So I'm not sure if they're going to open the top bowl because they don't generally. But whenever the Timbers are in town, that's a really well attended game. Mm-hmm. So the bottom line is, and you have to time your trip to if you're going to one. Now, if you can afford to go to both, get there early and go to both and just call it a day. But for most people, they're going to one or the other. If we're going to the Seahawk game, primarily let's talk Sunday. Because we know that game time for certain. Say the Mariners are playing at 5, Hawks are playing at 1. Okay. So if you're going to the Hawks game, it's business as usual. Get there your normal time, do your normal thing. But if you're going to the Mariners game, you have to kind of time it so you're getting there right as everybody at Lumen is already all set in. So you want to try to time your trip to the stadiums right about the time the Hawks are in the second quarter toward halftime. So that way you can kind of get there. Some might even say push it until when you think the Hawks fans are leaving so that then the parking spots will open up. Problem with that, it's too close to game time and you don't want to get caught in all the extra traffic, people going out as you're coming in. So you got to try to thread that needle as best you can.
Look, I'm not telling you all I'm an expert like Sully. However, I am someone that is very punctual. If I am only, and see what you think about this, Sully. If I'm only going to the Mariners game and I have no plan to go to the Seahawk game, then if that's the case, I'm downtown, no doubt about it, no later than 3.
Oh, without question.
And I'm safe.
Yeah. Again, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with that comes in is that, how many parking spots are you going to find in and around Lumen, right, who are there already there? So I might even say get there earlier, find a parking spot that rivals around the time people might be going to the Hawks game, and then just go hang out in Pioneer Square with a bunch of happy-go-lucky Seahawks fans who are just doing their thing, or maybe park somewhere in the middle of town, use like a spot hero or something like that that you can use to find a parking spot that you can buy in advance, and then spend the day on the waterfront with your family, and then walk to the game a little bit later on. So maybe park a little bit north of the stadium, hang out downtown, and then walk with a whole bunch of happy people over to the Mariners game. So that would say even, take advantage of that. It's going to be a beautiful day, and, you could get there. Now, the number one thing people are saying is we're going to take light rail. Light rail? Yeah. Okay, that's a great idea. Light rail is great. It drops you right there. But the problem is the train's going to be packed. And it's going to be very difficult to find parking even at those garages. Holly and I went to our first game this year, Mariner game. There was an event at Lumen Field. And there was also a Kraken game. And so we tried to find light rail, and we couldn't find any parking. So we ended up driving downtown and paying $95 for parking. And that was for a monster truck. That wasn't the Seahawks.
You paid $95 for monster truck parking?
No, because we were going to the Mariners. It was opening weekend for Mariners. It was to be honest, it was Hello Kitty bucket night, bucket hat night, and we have those. I should bring those in tomorrow so you could see it. But it was it was one of those things. By the way, read the fine print. The sign said $75. Then on the bottom it says plus Seattle taxes, which is 25% on parking. So they show you a number. You pull in the lot, and then they pull a switcheroo on you and go, oh, no, plus fees and taxes, which is 25%. So that pushed by 75, almost 25. So it pushed by 75 to 95, which was great. But you don't want to do that. But get to those parking rides early, find a way. What might be also really cool, if you never tried it, the Sounder. Find a way to take the fixed rail, because that's going to be running out of Tacoma at least on Sunday and out of Everett on Sunday. People say it's not well used, and it's a safe, fun drive, especially coming down from the north end. You got water the whole way. So that's an option. But you have to plan that accordingly. It's not as easy as just jumping on a train, because you got to find a place to park there as well.
We got less than 2 minutes.
All right.
Before you go, since we're talking about parking, can you look me in the eye with a straight face and tell me that they will not use any type of dynamic charge when it comes to parking?
Are you kidding me? This is like Christmas for the people who own parking lots.
Wait. I'm assuming that the city of Seattle was like, hey, you guys have spent a lot of extra money for this Buccaneers game, right? Because the Seahawks-Buccaneers game, they are honoring the top 50 in that game. This is the playoff game, second round. So you know that people have come out of a lot of money for these tickets. So therefore, for parking, you're going to just go the regular. You don't think it's going to be even more.
It's going to be even. I was looking at Spot Hero today, and some of the lots that I'm used to seeing at $45, $50 are already charging $100.
T and Conway just said that. T and Conway just said Spot Hero is $100 right now.
I looked up for some of the lots that I normally look at that we got in earlier this year for like $45. They're at $100 already. And yeah, I mean, again, this is their opportunity to make up and make sure their kids get the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip come Christmas time. They're going to be making the extra money now. And yeah, so if you're going to park, you're going to pay. And yeah, it's going to be expensive, even further and further away from the stadium. Yeah, I'm looking you in the eyes, straight face. I can't see through your glasses because those are pretty cool. But no, they're going to make their money too. And It's going to be, that's why, again, transit can be a thing. If you have friends that aren't going to the game, your next door neighbor, buy them a 6-pack and say, hey, could you drop us at the light rail station and pick us up? That would probably be the easiest way to do it, and just know you're going to be crowded with 100,000 plus fans going into SoDo on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be packed. You're going to need a plan.
It's going to be packed, and it's going to be popping.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Seattle. Hey, Sully's going to stick around, and we're going to play the game that we do every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:47. We'll play the game that's sweeping the land. It's called Would You Rather. I know some of you guys said, but I want the news. We will give you the news at 10 o'clock. But right now, you got to take a little break, have a little recess. Would You Rather comes up next. Gee and Ursula.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO Newsradio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
Buy more, save more at Dania Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in our showroom. It's the perfect way to complete your look for less or splurge on your dream piece for your living room, dining room, outdoor space, home office, or bedroom. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Coming up at 10 o'clock, I want to talk to you about something that President Ronald Reagan did in 1986 as it pertains to some of the reasons we are going through some of the things today. I'll tell you about that at 10 o'clock. But right now, it's the world-famous game that's sweeping the land. It's called Would You Rather?
Let me make something crystal clear. This one truly scares me.
It's time to make Ursula uncomfortable.
Well, Ursula's not here, and Sully is in her place, so I'm going to try to do my job to make you feel uncomfortable.
All right.
Would you rather work a job you love for little money or a job you hate for big money?
Well, I'm already doing A, so that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather do something I love because it's true. You never work a day in your life.
Okay.
Though extra money would be great.
Yep.
No, I'd rather do something that brings me joy every day, even if I was making just enough money to get by. Because I've done it.
Chef, what would you rather do, Brett?
The only person who answers A is somebody who's already financially stable, I think. I'm in the position of A, and I'm financially stable because I live with my parents. But were I not, sign me up for the big paycheck because I can do that for a couple of years and then go enjoy something. The savings in the bank.
I think saying A is the PC thing to say. Give me the job I hate for big bread all day long.
Well, also it depends on your years. Now, if you're talking 25-year-old, you're 26-year-old, I'm jumping for the money right away and going hard for the money. Okay. But now, now that you're down the line a little bit, my age, you take security and fun over that. So, I mean, you asked me that question 20 years ago, I'm probably saying B.
Good, fair.
Even with a young family. So, but yeah, right now I can't take one more downturn like those commercials say. I'm getting close to retirement age.
Would you rather give up meat or give up dairy forever?
Dairy. Yeah, I could give up ice cream. I can eat sorbet. I can eat sorbet, but I need chicken and meat, and there's no way. No, I could give up dairy.
Cheese.
So I could find a way to slather something else on there. I'd make it happen.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the fact that Chef brought up cheese, period. I'll give up meat forever. I think cheese is by far, of anything that I drink and or eat, it is by far the number one thing I cannot live without.
Yeah, I'd go with the dairy too. Sign me up for the meat.
What would you eat for protein?
Fish.
What would you just eat? You just eat. I count fish as meat.
Yeah,
to me. So
I do too.
So what? I just have
chickpeas.
No, thank you. That's not my thing. No, that's not my thing. No. I mean, cheese would be hard though. You're right. I mean, I have cheese on my turkey sandwiches every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Tillamook cheese.
Here we go, Sully. Would you rather have no internet for a month or no phone for a month?
No phone. Because with the internet, you could use something else to get everything else done.
Good point. Chef, what do you got?
No phone. And for a different reason, though, because the bad thing about the phone is that we're tethered to them and we reflexively pull them out when you get rid of that 5 seconds of anxiety where you're not thinking about something. Mm-hmm. So, remove the temptation.
Would you rather change one past decision in your life or see one future event in your life?
I'd change.
Ooh. You change one past decision?
Yes, I would definitely change one past, because life is about I don't want to know things. When things happen, I want to happen, and then that takes away all the surprise.
Yeah.
Do you get to choose which thing?
Your past decision? Yes.
Oh, that's so easy. I mean, I contemplated buying Microsoft stock when I was in high school. That would have been great if I actually followed through with that.
But okay. I just want to say this. I have one past decision that I wish that I would have made. However, had I made that decision, then today's not here.
That is also true.
So when you pick those decisions, so Chef, when you pick that your stock with Microsoft,
sure,
Gabby's probably not with Gabby. You don't have the two kids. You know what I mean? Things are different, man. When you choose that decision, that's ooh. So anyway, I didn't want to get too deep there.
Man, you made that hard.
Here we go. Would you rather achieve all of your personal goals or help everyone else achieve theirs? Okay, I'll go first. Let me achieve my own goals first. I can't worry about everybody else. I got to worry about my own self. If I'm not hitting my goals, how am I gonna help somebody else? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm focusing on, again, ask that question at a different age. Right now, it's all about me. Mm-hmm. I'm burning out the clock here at 56, right? So I got things to do. Me. I love helping others, but right now you got to take care of number one.
What are personal goals?
Oh, it could be weight, it could be health, it could be financial, it could be we can get into that. She blew in the face.
Shooting in the 60s on the golf course?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, personal.
Yeah.
All right. So we're admitting we're all selfish?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
You have to take care of yourself first before other people.
Sully, thank you, man.
Yeah, anytime. See, I survived and I didn't lose my job.
By the way, tomorrow you're still coming in to talk about traffic again, because that way, construction, people need to know.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
Anytime.
Hey, coming up next here on the Gee and Ursula Show, what Ronald Reagan did in 1986, what did that has to do with today? We'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 54, Bobby Wagner, linebacker, one of the finest of his generation. He set just about every tackling record that can be set. He was the heart and soul of one of the best defenses to ever play in the National Football League.
The Seahawks go for a fourth straight win, hosting Tampa Bay Sunday before the 12s. Kickoff at 1:05, pregame at 10 a.m.
Right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
After decades on the air, I've built something I'm proud of, but here's the question I ask myself. How do I protect it? That's where Trajan Wealth comes in. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. Trajan Wealth helps me think through income planning, Social Security timing, and ways to turn savings into steady, reliable income. For some, that might mean an annuity or life insurance. For others, it could mean shifting investments so you're not exposed to unnecessary risk. I don't want to take risks with my retirement. I want peace of mind that what I've earned will be there for me and for my family no matter what. And with Trajan Wealth, I know I have a team that's looking out for my best interests. If you've ever wondered whether your plan is strong enough to weather the ups and downs, it might be time to get a second opinion. To find out how they can help you, call Trajan Wealth today at 206-656-3300 or go to TrajanWealth.com. That's Trajan, spelled Trajan. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
If you use the carpool or toll lanes along SR 167 without a Good-to-Go account, you'll soon receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. British police call it an act of terrorism. The car and knife attack near a Manchester synagogue that left 2 people dead and 3 people seriously hurt. Police say the attacker was shot and killed, and 2 others have been arrested.
Journalist Jake Wallace-Simons says the Manchester synagogue attack has left his fellow British Jews shocked and grieving, but not surprised. He says Jews have been avoiding outward expressions of their faith and worshiping under tight security here for years.
There's been a sense of inevitability that sooner or later something will get through, and tragically that happened this morning on the holiest day of the Jewish year.
Anti-Semitic incidents have soared here since the start of Israel's Gaza offensive. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Here at home, in the wake of the deadly Michigan church attack last Sunday, there's a call to help the gunman's family.
David Butler, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, says he set up the fund for gunman Thomas Jacob Sanford's wife and child because they are victims too. Police killed Sanford in a shootout after he killed 4 people at the LDS Church in Grand Blanc. The Give, Send, Go page for the Sanfords has raised more than $270,000. At a vigil in Flushing, Michigan, Elizabeth Fonger says she's praying for all the victims.
They're going to have a difficult time getting through the next few days, maybe for years.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Now to Washington, where House Speaker Mike Johnson's turning up the heat on Democrats on day 2 of the government shutdown.
Today, the only issue is whether they're going to vote to keep the government operating for the people. Clear, plain and simple.
CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
Every time we have seen the Senate vote on this package, and keep in mind the House has already approved government funding through November of this year, November 21st to be precise, and so that is the bill that the Senate has put forth at least 3 times now, but it has not been able to reach that 60-vote threshold.
The White House says it's preparing to possibly lay off federal workers and slash programs backed by Democrats. CBS's Deborah Patta tells us Israeli naval forces boarded vessels in a flotilla that was trying to break Israel's blockade of Gaza, detaining dozens of people.
Anticipating these interceptions, activists then started raising their hands in the air. They were wearing life jackets, sitting in a circle. And some of them actually managed to stream the moment live from their cell phones before tossing those devices into the sea.
Tesla reports a 7% increase in sales in the third quarter, the electric car maker likely benefiting from a rush to take advantage of a $7,500 credit before it expired Tuesday. Wall Street, the Dow is down 29 points. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
2 Amazon delivery drones collide. The story coming up, but first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. In Mount Lake Terrace, a crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South 220th Street Southwest. You're backed up to Alderwood. Your drive southbound has ticked up by just a couple of minutes now. In Everett, the lane is closed for maintenance on State Route 527 southbound at 19th Drive Southeast. Watch out for them. And you are slow on the I-90 bridge eastbound to cross Mercer Island due to construction. Traffic brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A judge is siding with the families of 4 University of Idaho students murdered by Brian Kohberger over evidence being released in the case. KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas explains.
After Kohberger took a plea deal this summer, the gag order was lifted on the trial, so documents could be made public. Well, after one group of scene photos was released with blurs, the families sued. A judge deciding no more photos can be released of the murder scenes unless blood, bodies, all of it completely blacked out.
Seattle police are searching for two masked men who forced open a driver's car door in an attempted carjacking. They stabbed the 44-year-old driver, who threw his keys into some bushes, and they ran away. The victim was treated for minor injuries. His neighbors found the car keys. Two men have been charged with felony theft for allegedly stealing 10,000 gallons of fuel from an unmanned gas station in Pierce County. More from KIRO 7 TV's Allison Amoy.
Charging documents describe how the fuel was swiped. They used a metal rod to slow down the counter while the diesel kept flowing.
It appeared we're only getting charged maybe $12 or $11 for a $1,000 tank of fuel. That wasn't adding up.
In total, investigators say more than 10,000 gallons of fuel was stolen, worth more than $41,000.
The FAA and Amazon are trying to figure out why two delivery drones crashed yesterday in the Phoenix area, not far from the Amazon delivery base. Police Sergeant Eric Mendez.
It's the first crash that we've responded to, yes.
He tells our sister station KTAR no one was injured and nothing was damaged but the drones. The Seahawks are hosting a special garage sale at the Olympic Hall at Lumen Field. It marks 50 years of Hawks football. KIRO 7 TV's Renji Sinha reports.
Now, things for sale include autographed footballs, jerseys, cleats, trading cards, framed photos, retro license plates, and more. All the money earned is going to benefit a charity campaign called Impacting 50 Communities. They help organizations like food banks and the Boys and Girls Club. The Hawks are working with OfferUp and BECU on this, and the items on sale will range in price from that $1 all the way up to $250.
The sale takes place today from 5 to 8 p.m. The Seattle Mariners hit the field at T-Mobile Park today at 5 for another practice ahead of the American League Division Series starting Saturday. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers today, highs in the mid-60s. It's 60 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, October 2nd. If you're new to the show, thank you for being here. And if you're always here on the show, thank you for always coming back. It means the world to us. Nick is on the board. Good morning to you, Nick.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And Chef, good morning to you, brother. Glad that you are here. We got a lot of stuff happening in this hour, including coming up at 10:47. It'll be time for scenarios. We take a break, have a little fun. But up next at 10:30, question. Is Seattle, Pacific Northwest, is the fashion here truly that terrible? Yes, we will be talking about fashion, and I'm glad Chef is here to have that discussion with me about fashion. Believe it or not, I actually might side more with Chef on this topic. But right now, let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
Before we talk about being on day 2 of the government shutdown, I want everybody to be reminded of one fact. The president and Congress, they will continue to get paid no matter what. So I want people to really realize that as their people are pointing fingers, who is there, and remember that working class Americans in the United States are the ones that are truly impacted. So I wanted to express that as we talk about this. Now, again, we are on day 2 of the government shutdown. And if you listen right now to Republicans like Mike Johnson, the Democrats are nuts. They're nuts because health care for illegal immigrants is what they say. Here's some sound.
Democrats could have worked with us in a bipartisan manner to avert this unnecessary and very harmful shutdown. But instead, they did something that is rather shocking to us. They prioritized taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal aliens over keeping the government open for American citizens.
Now, first, I'm going to talk about this, but again, I want to address something. Why call them illegal aliens? Is there any part of that that seems cruel? Like, it's really kind of cruel and awful to talk about our people that are here in the United States that do so much here for this country. If you want to call them undocumented immigrants, all that, okay, fine. But I just think when you start talking illegal aliens, to me, it lets me know, as soon as you say illegal aliens, I almost want to tune out, but I won't. So let's go a little history lesson, and let's talk about people saying that the Democrats are only shutting this down. It's shut down because, and they held out and didn't want to make a deal because of undocumented immigrants. First, EMTALA. Have you ever heard of that? EMTALA stands for Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. EMTALA was enacted back in 1986 under President Ronald Reagan. And Congress, they passed this law because hospitals were literally turning people away at the ER if they didn't have enough money and or insurance. They called it back then, and they call it now, patient dumping. So my question first, before I continue, would be this. If someone is in an accident, a very serious injury, and they go to the ER, do you think that those that are in the care facility in the ER, that they should ask the person who's maybe they're unconscious? We need to find out if they have insurance. We need to find out if they are a legal immigrant here, if they have their papers. We won't work on this person until we find out those things. Do you believe that should happen in 2025? Because Ronald Reagan in 1986 did not think that way. Ronald Reagan and Congress actually wanted to enact something to where everyone can be taken care of. So whether you're rich, poor, insured, uninsured, documented, or undocumented, that hospital had to stabilize you and treat you, no questions asked. Now, maybe you're someone that says, nope, I want to make sure that they have their documents all together, even if they're unconscious. We need to know before they're worked on and stabilized. Well, that might be a difference of opinion. But let's continue to talk about what's really going on. Today, the federal government, what's happening in hospitals, when they do take care of someone, they can't turn them away right now because of EMTALA is still in place. So because they can't turn them away, in order for the hospitals to be reimbursed, it used to, notice I said it used to, it would come from the federal government, Medicare, all those kind of things. Because now going forward, it's going to be us, yes, us that pay for our health insurance, that will be responsible for paying for those things. So when that happens, our health care insurance premiums are going to go up for millions of Americans. So technically, if you're saying it is being held up because of Democrats and them thinking about undocumented immigrants, it's more so that Democrats are holding out because of insurance premiums across the country. If this were to happen, our insurance premiums will go up. I just wanted to explain that part right there. Now, again, I understand that there might be a difference of opinion. Here's where I land on this topic. If a hospital is on American soil, people that I have met, nurses and or doctors and those in the hospital, the healthcare industry, that is a calling. It's more than a job. And the people that are in that industry, some of the most beautiful, caring people in the world. In my heart, I believe most of them are all about saving that person, right? And so I'm on that level of, if the hospital is on American soil, then that's the case, then that person should be cared for. You know, here recently, I was talking to Chef, and I was telling him about George W. Bush. And he was just doing an interview recently, and this has to do with undocumented immigrants. And now remember the political divide. Some people to this day can't stand George W. Bush. And some people were like, well, I didn't like George W. Bush, but at least he was more of a unifier. I want to play some sound for you just to give you a reminder. And remember, I started this conversation off talking about EMTALA, which is something President Ronald Reagan in Congress in 1986 enacted. I want you to hear this, what George W. Bush has to say about a nation of immigrants.
My view is that we are a land of immigrants, and we ought to recognize that. As a matter of fact, I believe America's soul is rejuvenated when people come to our country and work hard to realize dreams. There is an orderly way to have immigration, and that is to recognize people are coming here to do jobs Americans aren't doing, or are not capable of doing, or unwilling to do. And we ought to have a process that enables people to come and do those jobs. It's good for our economy. I think it's, and I think it prevents people from having to sneak in.
He also goes on, I got to have you all hear what George W. Bush says, because it wasn't so long ago that we were hearing unifying leadership in this way. But here he is talking years later, looking back on having this conversation, talking about this nation that is full of immigrants.
There are some isms that occasionally pop up. One is isolationism, and its evil twin protectionism, and its evil triplet nativism. So if you study the 20s, for example, there was an American First policy that said, who cares what happens in Europe? What happened in Europe mattered eventually because of World War II. There was Smoot-Hawley, which was a part of an economic policy, which basically said we don't want trade. In other words, let's throw up barriers. And there was an immigration policy that I think during this period argued we had too many Jews and too many Italians, therefore we should have no immigrants. And my point to you is we've been through this kind of period of isolationism, protectionism, nativism. I'm a little concerned that we may be going through the same period.
And the last thing he says is he talks about growing up in Texas.
Look, I was raised in Texas. And, there's a lot of focus on the Hispanic population. I mean, if you're raised in Texas, you understand what it means to interface with Mexican Americans who are Texan. And you realize that we share the same values: faith, family, hard work, commitment to service, and I think we ought to welcome people from different cultures.
Let's stay in this lane, in this topic, because when you hear former President George W. Bush speak right there, and then you are reminded of what is happening currently right now in different cities. Let's go to Chicago. ICE raids in Chicago are getting out of hand. Now, when they were talking about mass deportation in the beginning, they were telling everyone, hey, we are just going after criminals. Hey, we are going after criminals that we believe that are coming across the border and that are causing harm here in the United States of America. So when people like myself ask, okay, that's fine, but I hope you're not just using this as a way to go around and pick up innocent men and women on a daily basis. So in Chicago, actually, just a few minutes from where I grew up on Lakeshore Drive, ICE agents arrested and detained dozens of people, including U.S. citizens who committed no crime. ABC Chicago 7 spoke to citizens who were detained.
What's new?
That didn't work.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen App video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it, cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
You ever been in a house when it's been raided before? Could you imagine being in a house and your house and where you live is raided and your kids are there, folks getting zip-tied, and you committed no crime? And they were saying they're there because they're trying to look for Venezuelans? And there's nobody of that in your house, and your kids have to see that. How long do you think a child would remember something like that? You think they would forget that, like next week, like go to school and just be all done? No. It'll stay with them for the rest of their lives. As a matter of fact, in this case, 37 people were arrested. DHS says the focus was drug and gun crimes and immigration violations. They also floated a link to the Venezuelan gang known as Tren de Agua. But they did not show proof anyone arrested was actually in that gang. Neighbors say doors were kicked in. People were zip-tied in the hallway. Could you imagine being zip-tied in the hallway and you've done nothing? Some were taken outside without clothes. At least 2 U.S. citizens say that they were detained for hours. There were snipers even rappelled from choppers as agents stormed the apartment building. So how many agents would you guess was a part of this? Yeah, 300. There were 300 agents involved in this raid. This is part of what the Trump administration is calling Operation Midway Blitz. DHS, ICE, and DOJ have made no public statements regarding whether citizens were lawfully detained or what legal basis was used to justify the raid. But just a reminder, when ICE is involved and they go to detain someone, all of the rights, the due process gets thrown out the window. So they can do the complete oopsie, sorry, we just wanted to make sure that you're a citizen. When we brought you out here and zip-tied you, at the time you didn't have any ID on you, so we, air quotes, weren't sure. When I'm talking about this, and this is happening in Chicago, some would say, well, gee, you are doing a show here in Seattle. But I just want to remind you that just in January of this year, we were just talking about the potential of this happening. And we were told, no, you don't have to worry about innocent people being in this situation. We are just going after the people that are committing the violent crimes in this country. And it seems that here we are, 9 months later. That's a different story. So I would like to say I hope that things get better. I'm a little nervous that I might continue to be naive. Hey, coming up at 11 o'clock, we're going to bring on the sheriff of Thurston County. Sheriff Derek Sanders will come on the show at 11 o'clock. I'm looking forward to having that discussion with him. Coming up next, is Seattle fashion truly that terrible? Let's talk about it next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
Well, you're getting ready every morning. Make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. I got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO Newsradio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Have you heard the saying, chuck in a truck? The guy running a roofing company out of his messy pickup? Well, here's the scary part. Washington doesn't require a test or experience to be a licensed roofer, and they definitely don't require a brick and mortar location. Chuck could be working out of his apartment with 0 employees, hiring random guys off the street. Yikes. And the SBA says 90% of roofers are out of business within 5 years. Jim here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we do things right. We have a real location on Central Avenue in Kent and a team of 50 full-time roofing pros who actually know what they're doing. We're not some fly-by-night outfit. We've put down roots, or in our case, a cement foundation, so you'll always know where to find us. No disappearing acts, no cut corners, just top-quality work from people you can trust. That's RoofSmart. Come see for yourself, or call us at 206-487-4877, or visit us online at getroofsmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or getroofsmart.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ooh, hey, remember those yodelers who met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Homes are sitting, but the bottleneck is about to break. Set yourself up for success by working with a team that doesn't just set up your listings and let it sit. The Novak team creates a marketing strategy that's hands down proven successful. Mike sold over 1,500 homes and guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If Mike doesn't get your home under contract within 21 days, he sells it for free. That is no commission for Mike. Go to meetthenovaks.com. That's meetthenovaks, NOVAKS.com.
Tune in each Tuesday morning for KIRO's Financial Update, sponsored by Madrona Financial. Each Tuesday at 6:45, Charlie Harger talks with CPA Brian Evans about what's going on in the financial world and how that affects you. Get the latest information and updates that impact your ability to navigate these financial times. Charlie and Brian discuss the stock market, retirement planning, interest rates, and anything else that will help you understand what's going on in your financial life. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 6:45.
This March, Wendy's is fueling the madness with amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single,
Go get it for $1. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you plan to use the carpool lanes along SR 167, you'll soon need a flex pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Imagine homes so well designed and so luxurious, they'll be setting the standard for decades. You're imagining a main view home. Now imagine a main view home on sale, saving $50,000 to $120,000.
Isn't that what Brett and Amy bought?
Yeah, it's a main view, and they saved a bundle.
What are you doing?
Looking at the main view website, it's now or never.
What's better than a main view home? A main view home on sale. Main view communities across the Puget Sound.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
The attack in Manchester this morning is absolutely shocking, and all of our thoughts are with those affected.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer, police say a man drove into people outside a synagogue in Manchester, England, and then began stabbing them. 2 people were killed, 3 injured before officers shot and killed the gunman. The attack comes on the Jewish holy day Yom Kippur. This is being treated as a terror attack, and police say anti-Semitic attacks have increased since Israel began its war in Gaza. Israel says it is targeting Hamas terrorists there, but tens of thousands of civilians have died. Israeli forces now say they've intercepted a group of protesters on boats attempting to break the naval blockade of Gaza. The latest from CBS's Deborah Pata.
Anticipating these interceptions, activists then started raising their hands in the air. They were wearing life jackets, sitting in a circle. And some of them actually managed to stream the moment live from their cell phones before tossing those devices into the sea.
Here in the U.S.,
it's outrageous.
The federal government shutdown continues. Democrats are refusing to pass a budget unless it extends tax credits for health care. House Speaker Mike Johnson contends.
We have 3 months to do that. That is not an issue for today. The only issue is whether they're going to vote to keep the government operating for the people. Clear, plain and simple.
Despite the shutdown, Social Security services are still running, but you might see delays. More from KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson.
Sally Hanley helps people apply to get a Social Security number in order to get paid.
The longer it's delayed, the more it can inconvenience folks.
12% of the Social Security Administration staff is furloughed. Checks will still be sent. People can still apply to be put on Social Security and make some changes, but other changes and services will be delayed until the government reopens.
We have more information on how the government agencies and services are being affected by the shutdown at mynorthwest.com. A new report shows the private sector lost 32,000 jobs in September. Analysts had expected gains. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
The specific areas that lost the most jobs are the ones that rely on consumer demand. Think leisure and hospitality, restaurants, those sort of travel types of things. If people aren't out there spending money, you don't need to hire as many people.
She says it is a troubling sign ahead of the holiday season. Just in, a judge in Spokane has released convicted South Hill rapist Kevin Coe from civil commitment. He spent 40 years after 40 sexual assaults. This is all according to CBS affiliate KREM TV. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 43 points. NASDAQ is up 39. KIRO News Radio traffic in Mount Lake Terrace. A crash is blocking a lane on I-5 southbound near South 220th Street Southwest. You're backed up now on I-405 past Alderwood. Travel time Everett to Seattle, 43 minutes, about 10 longer than usual. Other travel times are pretty good. Federal Way to Seattle, 28 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 25. You are slow on the I-90 bridge eastbound across Mercer Island due to construction. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers with highs in the mid-60s today. It's 60 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning to all of you. Hey, coming up in about 30 minutes. Nick, I can't concentrate with that song. I just want to just bop my head.
Oh, yeah. It's like a rock spray, right?
Hey, coming up at 11 o'clock, Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders joins the show. Looking forward to talking to him. I definitely want to ask about how he's able to connect so well with his community, so much so that they pulled up to City Hall and they said, we got our sheriff's back. So we'll be talking about that at 11 o'clock. But right now, Seattle has a reputation, not just coffee, but by the way that they're dressed, their fashion sense, or in this article, the lack thereof. A lot of folks say that in the Pacific Northwest, the folks' dress is boring. It's bland. It's no seasoning, filled with flannel and fleece. So the question is this. I would love to hear from you. Is Seattle fashion really that bad? A lot of outsiders call it bad. Really? I think that, and just so you all know, let me just share something with you. Today is day one for me. So if you all on YouTube and you guys see me Monday through Friday, I'm going to be wearing the same thing every day. I bought 10 pair of black pants. I bought T-shirts. I will be wearing black pants and black T-shirts every day because I am sick and tired of even thinking about what I'm going to wear. And I just like the idea of just, you guys know me, I like to do things different, and this is my thing.
You're being different by being the same every day?
Yeah.
Are you copying our boss? That's what you're really doing, right?
Who, Brian Buckaloo?
Yeah. He wears the same thing every day.
He wears tight khaki pants and a crisp white shirt.
Yeah, he looks good.
And you know what? He is somebody I'm copying. But I want to get into this, and I'm curious what you guys think. 888-973-5476 about Seattle fashion. And I want to flip it, and some of you all probably thought, including Chef, that I was going to come on and make fun of it. No. I think that Seattle fashion is ours, and I think that we need to embrace it. I think our culture is about comfort. I think it's about authenticity. I think it is about more function over flash. As someone who has always believed in the flash, actually, my good buddy Chef, I think it is smart to dress with function, to actually get that Patagonia, to actually get that that jacket that, absorbs the rain. Don't always think about fashion. That's what everybody else does outside of here. So if anything, I want to say to all my tech bros, musicians, coffee drinkers, do you. That is what makes it special here. Wearing the flannel, wearing the fleece. And now you're looking at me, Chef, like I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, I got a whole new thing on fashion.
I'm confused because I feel like I'm having a moment where, I'm talking to my uncle that I've known for years and years and years, and he's the guy who fires up the barbecue every day and roasts a whole pig.
Yeah.
And then I have another conversation with him the next day, and he's turned vegan. Like, what caused you to change your opinion on fashion? Because I applaud it. I applaud it. I'm all about function over form. But I know that you've to stand out and stand apart. Like, what led to your change of mind?
Okay. I'm glad you asked that. Let me be vulnerable with you for a second. One of the number one reasons that I would dress the way that I do, even before, I think deep down, the number one reason is I wanted to appear as if I had money. I wanted to appear almost like the fake it till you make it. So I thought that the flash would be best. That's one reason. Number two, I think that a lot of times I go in situations and I hear comments like, oh my goodness, where'd you get that from? Or, oh, I could never wear something like that. Actually, the I could never wear something like that is something that I'm tired of hearing. It actually bothers me now. Like, oh, man, gee, only you can wear something like that. Like, what does that mean, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine me coming to someone that's wearing a flannel or is wearing a Tommy Bahama shirt or that's wearing some real tight khaki pants, and I say, oh, man, hey, how you doing, buddy? Whew, only you can wear something like that.
You know, you're hitting on something, and that is, so I know you've been criticized for your fashion before. I've thrown some shade at you before. I also know that you've had to. You walk into a room and people have assumptions about you that they wouldn't have about me.
Fair.
Right? I'm not going to get judged for my clothes in the same way that you might.
Right.
But the thing is, I think people like me are secretly uncomfortable with people who dress better than them, more fashionably than them, because we see them as someone who's a risk taker when we're perhaps scared to take risks with our appearance. It makes us uncomfortable because we realize, like, oh, if I put in more effort or if I had more money to buy this thing, then I would probably look better and feel better about myself. And so I think some of that comes down to like discomfort with a difference in social appearance. And that whole like, oh, I could never wear that. I can tell you from my perspective, because I've said that a lot. I've said that to a lot of people, including you. It doesn't come from a place of trying to bring you down, but actually from a place of, I wish I had the balls to try something like that. You know what I mean? Because you got to swing and miss on a lot of things that look bad sometimes before you find the thing that looks good too.
I told y'all guys about the spinny belt. I mean, belt buckle. You know what I mean? I told you guys that story. No. So for me, and one more thing. And here's the big one. I saved this for last. You know, sometimes on your credit card statements, you know, today your credit card statements is really good about breaking down what you have purchased.
The
right?
percentage of expenditures.
And they can show you your food, restaurant. You know, they can show you your travel. And they can show you your clothes. Yeah. Done. Disgusting, as my boy Kanan would say to me when I'm talking to him. It's disgusting, chef. So I'm done. So I'm gonna wear the same thing every day. And by the way, just so you all know, I told my wife this.
She believe you?
It's funny. I was standing in the kitchen, and I'm telling her what my plan is. And by the way, I don't even want to get into my eating about what I'm eating the same thing every day too. But I'm telling her this. I can see my wife looking at me like, this is not real. It's like telling your significant other, hey, baby, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. Sure.
Well, why don't you work yourself in a cheat day so you can have like one day a week?
So the only time the cheat day for me, the exception will be Seahawk games and when I auctioneer. Hey, Sheriff Derek Sanders from Thurston County will join us at 11 o'clock. But up next, scenarios.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 54, Bobby Wagner, linebacker, one of the finest of his generation. He set just about every tackling record that can be set. He was the heart and soul of one of the best defenses to ever play in the National Football League.
The Seahawks go for a 4th straight win, hosting Tampa Bay Sunday before the 12s. Kickoff at 1:05, pregame at 10 a.m.
Right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
My name is Jonas Khan. I'm the founder and chairman of Carbitex. We're based here in Kennewick, Washington. We focus on the testing, development, and manufacturing of flexible carbon fiber composites. And we have about 50 people here in Washington. Operating a business in Washington State has a whole host of challenges. We're an AWB member because as a small, medium-sized business, AWB is able to handle so many aspects of state and federal regulations and changes that we don't have the resources to focus on. And of course, being able to take advantage of Health Choice has been a huge help for Carbitex. As we're structuring our compensation package for our employees who are coming on board, a cornerstone of that is health insurance. Not just any health insurance, it has to be high quality, easy to use, a great network, and we have that with Health Choice. And that's just been extremely helpful for us.
If you're looking for a great health plan for your employees, visit ProPointServices.com. Health Choice Trust is offered through the Association of Washington Business and powered by Primera Blue Cross.
Hey man, gaining weight? Dragging throughout the day? Losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Washington gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 206-529-1111 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 206-529-1111 or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Tired of unwanted clutter taking over your space? Well, say goodbye to it all with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal service. Tune into KIRO Radio 97.3 FM or Seattle Red for Home Matters featuring Happy Hauler this Saturday at 2 p.m. Discover how Happy Hauler can help you declutter and reclaim your home, all while donating as much as possible to those in need. So make yourself, your family, and your community happy. Go to happyhauler.com. Hauling with a heart.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300, 206-656-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Hey, coming up at 11 o'clock, Thurston County will be represented here on the show. The sheriff of Thurston County. Derek Sanders joins the show. They'll come up. Make sure you stick around. But right now, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I went to a party with some friends at a bar over the weekend, and we had a great time. And a guy came over and asked to buy me a drink. Now, I have a serious boyfriend, but a free drink is a free drink. So I said, sure. Then the dude was hanging around expecting chit-chat on the back end. I told him I had a boyfriend and just wanted to hang out with my friends. He got angry and wanted me to give him money for the drink. I told him he offered, I accepted, done deal. The bartender had to call security over to get him to leave. My friends say I was out of line and shouldn't have done that in the first place. But why? What is wrong with accepting the drink, and what is wrong for telling the person I don't want to stick around for chit-chat? Okay, let's talk about this. Hit us on the text line, 888-973-5476. Chef, what's your advice and thoughts on this very topic?
That's sketch. That's real sketch. If a guy comes up to you at a bar and says, hey, can I buy you a drink? The assumption is that he has an interest in you, right? And so there are two honest ways to answer that question. That is, no, I have a boyfriend, or yes, but I should let you know that I have a boyfriend, right? And they can decide whether or not they want to continue if you let them know from the outset. Mm-hmm. Now, I have been, in younger years, approached by women saying, hey, do you want to buy me a drink? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. And then they just disappear, right? When I was young and stupid and didn't know how it worked.
Yeah.
But there's a basic agreement, right, that if you let someone buy you a drink, you at least owe them a little bit of conversation. Would you agree with that?
A courtesy.
Yeah.
A courtesy.
Nothing else, just conversation.
Nothing else. No, but you don't, I'm glad you said it. You don't have to. However, you accepting that drink, once you say yes, that person randomly comes up to you, you got to think there's going to be kind of some want to of a conversation. Now, I want to be real nice about this because I don't want to make a sweeping statement, Chef, that people are used to when it comes to these topics. First, let me say something about someone that buys someone a drink. Let me cover that. If you go to buy someone a drink, you should not expect anything other than you buying the drink. You should not expect them to stay and talk to you. You should not expect them to give you a number. You shouldn't expect anything. You walked over there. You wanted to buy them a drink. Buy them a dang on drink. If you get a chit-chat after, great. If you don't, walk your tail on somewhere else. I want to cover that first. Now, let me cover somebody who is going to accept the drink. Ladies, here comes a sweeping statement. If a guy comes over to you individually and wants to buy you a drink, he for sure wants to chit-chat. Now, he might buy your table a drink, just being cool, that's different. But if he comes over specifically to you, he wants to chit-chat. Now, hey, you have a boyfriend. Here you are, you're accepting this drink. Once you accepted that drink, and then you are shocked that this person kind of felt slighted, you are a little on the sketchy side of things too, Chef. Accepting that drink, knowing you got a boyfriend, knowing you're in that situation. Like, why is this person buying you a drink? Are they buying you a drink because, like, hey, did he come up to you and say, hey, you look like my Aunt Esther? Hey, you look like a teacher that I once had. He just comes up to you, hey, you know what? I want to buy you a drink. And when you did that and you accepted that, somebody just texted in, I don't know where it went. I think it was Lori that said, nothing's for free. That is a great way of looking at it.
When a woman accepts a drink but has a boyfriend, isn't that also kind of her way of saying, like, yeah, I mean, I have a car. I like my car, but I'm always open to a new model.
Hey, Ursula's not here. If Ursula were here today, I would probably go out on a limb and just make crazy sweeping statements. But I'm trying to keep control of the show. But if you have a man or significant other and you're out and about and a guy comes up to you and you're like, sure, you can buy me a drink. It's like the movie Dumb and Dumber. So you say there's a chance.
Exactly.
Nick.
Well, we all know the game being played from the start. The dude's interested in the lady if he wants to buy her the drink. Now, with the ball in her court, she should politely say no thanks if she's not interested. For her to accept and give the mixed signals is going to another court and starting a whole different game, and she's bold for stretching the boundaries of taking that drink. Well, that's one thing for him to be angry after the fact, but I think that she started a whole new fire accepting the drink. She should have just walked away and said, I'm not interested. So that's on her.
Now, I'll tell you what, Chef Nick, I've been on my best behavior. No sweeping statements. It is interesting the amount of ladies texting in saying she knew what she was doing. So you guys are basically telling me that like all of the women are like, what are you doing, lady?
That's because women know that if you don't want attention from a guy, don't give him any encouragement, right? Because that's men. If you don't want to be around, you don't want him around, don't encourage him.
Rachel in Kirkland says she should have said no. 253 says, don't accept anything. Don't accept from anyone. What if they put something in it or want to sleep with you? There's all kinds of things. Just say no to the drink. Hey, the sheriff of Thurston County, Sheriff Derek Sanders, joins the show next. It's Gee and Ursula.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO Newsradio. On 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th. New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Contractors and heavy equipment operators, get ready for a big one. The James D. Murphy Company brings you the huge Marysville Heavy Equipment, Contractors Equipment, Trucks, and Vehicles online auction. And bidding is underway now. On the auction block, 10 excavators, including a 2021 Komatsu PC88MR and a 2018 Komatsu PC238, a 2017 Komatsu WA320-8 wheel loader, a 2003 John Deere 770 OCH motor grader, plus 4 backhoes, 3 reach lifts, and 4 boom lifts. There's 5 dump trucks, including a 2015 Peterbilt 367 Super Solo and 2 Western Star quad-axle roll-off trucks, and much more. Preview all equipment Tuesday, October 7th and Wednesday, October the 8th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville yard, 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Get all details now at murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. A synagogue in Manchester, England was attacked today. 2 people were killed, 4 seriously wounded. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Earlier today, on Yom Kippur, the holiest day for the Jewish community, a vile individual committed a terrorist attack that attacked Jews because they are Jews.
Starmer said the nation must defeat rising anti-Semitism, and he promised to increase security in Jewish communities. The attacker, who drove a car into people outside the synagogue, then began stabbing them, was shot and killed by police. President Trump is expected to meet today with his budget director. He's already suggested slashing Democratic priorities and firing some federal workers as the government shutdown continues. Willie James Inman reports there has been no progress on that front.
Still, we're at a stalemate here in terms of those negotiations, and no vote scheduled today. Potentially, we could see a vote happen later this week on Friday, but it's anyone's guess in terms of if and when this government shutdown will end.
A U.S. immigration judge has denied a bid for asylum from Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He has 30 days to appeal. He's been in the U.S. for years, but originally immigrated from El Salvador illegally as a teenager. He was mistakenly deported in March. Portland and Memphis are bracing for more federal agents and troops. CBS's Nicole Skanga has the latest on where things stand.
The National Guard is expected to arrive in Portland imminently. We also know that the National Guard is expected to arrive in Memphis within the next few days or so. What we know at this point is that they won't be armed or masked. They also won't be making any arrests. Instead, that's going to fall largely on law enforcement. In the case of Memphis, we've already seen 650 law enforcement personnel from 19 different agencies deployed around that city.
The deployment also comes with a financial burden, the cost of jailing all those arrested and court costs. One Memphis official also says there aren't enough prosecutors. Israeli Navy forces boarded ships belonging to a flotilla attempting to break its blockade of Gaza. Hundreds of activists were arrested. CBS's Deborah Patta is in Jerusalem with more.
The flotilla, which started out with more than 40 boats, was carrying a symbolic amount of humanitarian aid to Gaza. Its main goal, they said, remained to break Israel's illegal siege and end the ongoing genocide. Israel has dismissed it as a provocation, and obviously they deny charges of genocide.
On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are higher. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An accused prolific rapist is going to be set free. The story coming up, but first, KIRO News Radio traffic. In Mount Lake Terrace, it looks like the crash has been moved from I-5 southbound near South 220th Street Southwest. Your backup is breaking up now, and travel time ever to Seattle is back down to 33 minutes. Other travel times looking good. Federal Way to Seattle, 28 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 25. Remember, you are still a bit slow on the I-90 bridge eastbound across Mercer Island. That's due to construction. Traffic brought to you by D.R. Horton. The D.R. Horton National Red Tag Sales Event starts this Saturday through October 18th. Visit a D.R. Horton community today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A Washington state man suspected in 40 rapes is going to be set free. A judge in Spokane County today said she has no proof 78-year-old Kevin Coe, the so-called South Hill rapist, is still a threat. CBS affiliate Creme TV was in court when one of his victims, Shelley Monahan, told the judge,
"We all know that even when he walks out of McNeil Island, he will never be free unless his last breath is what he does by asking God forgiveness."
Coe served 4 decades in prison and civil commitment. No more crime scene photos from the murders of 4 University of Idaho students will be released unless images of their bodies or blood are completely blacked out. An Idaho judge made that ruling, siding with the victims' families. Evidence is being released now that their convicted killer, Brian Kohberger, has been sentenced to life in prison without parole. A daring move by a Seattle driver to try and avoid a carjacking.
Moments after 2 masked men forced open the victim's driver's side door in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, the 44-year-old chucked his car keys as far as he could. Police say one of the suspects then stabbed the victim in his leg before both suspects ran away and attempted another carjacking nearby. That second victim kept his doors locked. The man who was stabbed was treated at Harborview Medical Center for a minor injury. A bold move to chuck his keys, which neighbors later found and returned. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
If your business has been affected by the closure of the 410 White River Bridge, you can now apply for a low-interest loan from the Small Business Administration. The closure means there's no direct access between Enumclaw and Buckley, cutting off some businesses from their customers.
Restaurants, storefronts, beauty services, those are typically the types of businesses that will see a fluctuation in customers and traffic.
Spokeswoman Lauren Hill says loans can help businesses continue to pay their employees and bills until the bridge reopens. The Seattle Mariners are staying sharp ahead of the playoffs. The second of 2 scrimmages will take place today in front of fans at T-Mobile Park. Center fielder Julio Rodriguez.
We've been playing a really long year, so any extra days that you can rest and kind of prepare and kind of get a little bit of a fresh start. I think it's huge for the team.
The Mariners will find out today who they'll face this Saturday in the American League Division Series. It'll be either the Detroit Tigers or Cleveland Guardians. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Thursday, October 2nd. If you're new to the show, we appreciate you hanging out with us. And if you are always here, a part of the show, man, we love that you're back as well. Always means the world. We got a lot going on this hour. Of course, at 11:47, we always do the words to live by, and we hear you. And at 11:33, we will do agree to disagree. It's time to have some fun with that. Chef always likes to cook up something. Now, we're waiting still for the sheriff of Thurston County, Sheriff Derek Sanders, to join the show. So when he gets here, we'll be ready to talk to him. But until then, let's talk about a little bit of news. Brian Haywood and Let's Go Washington right now are sponsoring an initiative signature gathering event at Tumwater Middle School this weekend. One initiative would restore parents' legal rights to see all of their students' records about counseling, medical records, accommodations for gender identity. If a student wanted to talk with a counselor about gender dysphoria, name changes, or pronouns, the school would have to notify the parents beforehand. Now, the other initiative would prohibit biological males from competing in girls' sports, essentially enshrining a ban in state law. Public facilities may not be used to support or oppose a candidate or ballot. Proposition RCW 42-17-555. Now, in February, during a junior varsity girls basketball game, a Shelton player told a Tumwater High School player, you're a man, and refused to play against her, citing concerns for her safety. The Tumwater School Board shortly afterwards voted to ban transgender girls from participating in girls' sports in the district. Now, here is the problem with everything I said, whether you agree or disagree with any of that. That move, it conflicts with Washington state policy, which currently says students must be allowed to compete in sports division that aligns with gender identity. Now, going back to this topic and talking about this, the problem is that you're not allowed to go and with getting these signatures for initiative, the gathering of signatures at a school. There needs to be separation from that. So you also can't do that as well. All right. I finished that up, but right now I want to welcome on the sheriff of Thurston County, Sheriff Derek Sanders. Sheriff, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, we've been hearing a lot about the potential in budget cuts in Thurston County, and I know it started off at a certain amount, $4 million. It's down to $2.5 million. Before we get to there, I want you to walk us through what this really means for people listening right now, what type of impact that would have on public safety for your department in Thurston County if $4 million would have been the cut.
So at the $4.5 million cut level, we would have had to shut a dorm down in our jail, which is just under 70 beds. Now, the thing that people need to remember about Thurston County Jail is that it's not the jail it used to be. A little bit before I started, our jail used to be about half and half, about 50% misdemeanor crimes, 50% felony crimes. Today, it fluctuates around 90% felony, 10% misdemeanor. Sometimes it goes up to 95-ish. So the thing that people need to understand is that when we talk about shutting down a dorm inside of our jail, we're not talking about letting out people who just couldn't pay their traffic fines. We're talking about burglary, fraud, identity theft. We're talking about possession of a stolen vehicle, eluding a police vehicle. Those are the types of crimes that we're talking about. One, having to try and release those inmates to make space for 70 people, but then not bringing anyone else in for those types of crimes. On the patrol side, because I'm responsible for jail and patrol, it would have probably resulted in about 8 deputy sheriff cuts.
Wow. Now, Sheriff, at a packed meeting with hundreds in attendance, county commissioners, they ended up scaling back the proposed $4.5 million in cuts down to $2.5 million. You asked community members to show up to that commissioners meeting. How much of an impact do you think that their presence and voices had on that?
Well, you can just listen to the county commissioners themselves. The chair of the board said this was maybe the most impactful community meeting he's ever had in terms of public comment. One thing I was really proud about, and I mean really proud about, is that I asked if people were going to come and speak on behalf of the sheriff's office, to keep things positive and uplifting, that the county commissioners really are in a tough spot. And not every problem in the world is their fault. They don't determine, the economic factors at the federal and state level. They're dealing with very local issues here. So I was really, really proud to see that almost every comment. In fact, I think every comment was very uplifting. It was very positive. It was, they don't want the sheriff's office to be cut, but no one was attacking county commissioners or anything like that. So I really wanted to thank everyone who showed up and kept things positive for us. It means a lot to me.
You're hearing the voice of Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders here on the Gee and Ursula Show. You seem to be, and I have been watching you from afar, you seem to be someone that is very transparent. You're someone that communicates very well with your community and those down there in Thurston County. Where does that come from?
Well, before I was the sheriff, I was just a voter, just a taxpayer. I was a deputy sheriff who went to work and went home. And so I've brought a lot of those same values of, what would it look like if someone, an elected official, really explained down in detail and didn't give, the the really I guess watered down version of everything. I just tell people exactly how it is and exactly how we're dealing with things. But I think one of the things for me too, and I've always felt this way, is that a lot of police departments think that they're transparent, but really what they do is they just show the good stuff. They just show the things that make them look good. If you recall, we've been transparent about things that aren't so great. We've had pursuit fatality deaths that we've talked openly about. We've had deputies get fired. We've had deputies get criminally charged that we've assisted in those investigations to help bring accountability to those individuals. None of those things paint the sheriff's office in a good light. However, at least people know what's going on. So I just think an informed populace is an educated one who can make better decisions.
Let's go back to these budget cuts. And so now that it looks like right now it's going to be now at $2.5 million, do you need to see that number come down even further? And if so, how can that happen?
I do. We identified early on with the county commissioners that there was about a $1.7 million cut that we could take that wouldn't change anything for us because we do have a suspended work release program in our jail. So we can offer up 12 corrections deputies. Those positions we've intentionally left vacant because we knew we were probably going to lose them anyways. The reality is the county commissioners have a very challenging budget to deal with. They're dealing with circumstances they didn't choose. And so I'm more than happy to assist them in helping to get to a point where our budget is balanced. One of the things that frustrates me, and you've heard me talk about it a lot, Washington State dead last in the entire country in officers per capita. So anytime we're talking about taking one officer away, one deputy away, that's one more step away we are from even getting to being the second worst staffed in the country. So those are just things that I'm really passionate about. And one of the things that bothers me a little bit, right, is there are people I know in the background who are cheering this on and saying, yeah, defund the police. Let's get to 5 million. Why not 4? 4.5 is too low. Let's get to 5. We're already there. We're in last place. Like the police departments and sheriff's offices in this state are just clawing to keep the budgets they currently have to keep us where we are in last place. It's not like I don't think we're asking for the moon. I really don't. We don't want to fall even further behind out of last place.
Well, let's talk about being fully staffed. How are you with deputies right now, Thurston County Sheriff Department? Are you fully staffed with your deputies?
So incredibly, we actually, as of yesterday, are fully staffed in the jail. We have 1 vacancy and 7 applicants who are ready to be hired. We're just kind of waiting on the final word from the county to fill that last vacancy position. I don't want to obviously fill a position and then have to lay someone off immediately. Over on the patrol side, we are not fully staffed. We have about 10 positions to fill, but that's because the positions aren't unlocked yet. If you remember, we passed a public safety tax, and we phased those positions in over a period of months. So, like, for instance, October 1st, yesterday, I got 2 more deputies. So, obviously, I haven't filled those yet. They've only been open for 1 day. But as we're going, we anticipate being fully staffed by the end of the year when the last of our 3 positions unlock on December 1st.
When I think about your roles, and by the way, I think that being a sheriff or being a top boss at anything would be very hard. It takes great leadership to do those things. But I want to ask you what you think your role should be when there are contract negotiations, example, those being like between the county council and the deputies union.
So the role that I took because we just settled our contracts.
Sure.
So I've gone through an entire rotation of all of my employees' contracts, and every union that I have underneath me has received the largest increase that they've ever received in the history of the county. Now, behind closed doors, and when I'm talking with people, yes, I'm advocating for my staff because they were underpaid. Not just anecdotally. I didn't just feel that way, but statistically, they were far behind in their comparables. Now, the thing that people have to remember is that at the end of the day, the county controls the financial aspect of the contract, and I control the work conditions aspect of the contract, right? So I can freely negotiate with my unions about working conditions, right? Whether that means that, hey, I'm going to let you work out for half an hour on duty every day, as long as call volume is low. Those are the types of things that I can control internally. So there's a point in time where I get involved, but then there's also a point when it comes to just sheer things about pay that I'm looking over at the county and asking, can we do this?
We're joined here by Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders here on the Gee and Ursula Show. You know, Sheriff, sometimes there's a question, and I'm glad you pointed out talking about how the state of Washington is not great when it comes to police officers per capita. And then the conversation will come around where, hey, if ICE comes to this county or this area, what type of help would law enforcement give to ICE to help out in these situations? But, you know, Sheriff, how is that possible for law enforcement to even help ICE in situations when already they're down numbers, like you explained?
Well, that's kind of one of the points I've been bringing up, right? I mean, the federal government, specifically ICE, has a budget that is larger than every single police department in this state combined. So I think where we're at, right, is like they're good.
Right.
They're good. If anything, we need help. If anything, I need another deputy to go to our domestic violence call with a gun, so I don't have deputies going to those by themselves. So I think that's one of the things that people have to really understand. Like, we are already tapped out. Now, the taxpayers here in Thurston County are carrying their load. They passed a public safety tax. We got an extra $6.5 million. Those are the positions we're filling right now, so we're plussed up. There's more deputies working in Thurston County than there ever have been before. But just to get us, even with that tax, if we move forward from there, just to get us to the state average of 1.38, I need about 70 more deputies. That's how many I have right now, basically, on patrol.
So you need 70 more.
Just to get to the state average. The national average, I need about 140 more.
You know, just so you know, Sheriff, I've never liked the term defund the police. And every time I've ever heard that, it's just the dumbest thing in the world. Now, I'll stand on that. But I got to tell you, when I hear or I see commercials from ICE offering, right, lateral movement from police agencies saying, come on over to ICE, in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, hey, that's not cool. We already have a shortage of officers, and then now you're trying to pull from agencies who don't have the budget that you have. What are your thoughts when you see the recruitment of $50,000 to officers?
Well, you can tell. I mean, that's just a good example of how the federal government has so much more money to play with, right? I have a deputy who's in the hiring process with Homeland Security, and we'll probably lose them potentially, and so that's where it's frustrating, right? Like, Thurston County Sheriff's Office can't offer a $50,000 signing bonus.
Right.
For a short period of time, we found a way to scrap together money to do a $25,000. But this is where we're at, right? I mean, the federal government and the state government are in civil war right now, and when the elephants fight, the mice get trampled, and the local police departments are mice. We are going to get trampled through this process. Do I believe that the federal government has a duty to engage in immigration law enforcement? Yes. Do I think the way they're doing it is punitive and intimidating and in a almost a bullying and mocking way? Also, yes. Right? I mean, it's hard for me to see how any of this here is building community and how we're unifying together to get a common goal accomplished. So I think that both sides could give a little, but neither side's going to. That part's obvious. So we just have to do what we can here in Thurston County and push forward.
Sheriff, I got two more questions for you before you go. And this one right here,
sir.
because I just found out, I've been seeing you all over. I see what you've been doing down there. I just found out that, are you 32, 33?
32, yeah.
32 years old. Some would say you have an old soul because when you speak, you don't speak as if you're 32 years old. So now that leads to my next question. You told me that before being the sheriff that you were just a voter, law-abiding citizen. You were, obviously a deputy. But how did you come to be in this way? Would be before law enforcement? Who was Derek Sanders before then?
Derek was someone who had a pretty troubled childhood, very, very poor. So a lot of life experience in dealing with some real challenges. I was, experiencing domestic violence in my household at about the age of 5. That's about the earliest I remember cops being at my house, making arrests, and then lived in some domestic violence shelters throughout elementary and going into middle school. And then the other half of me, I think, really found stability when I moved here to Washington State. I had some really good role models in my life, my mom, my grandparents, I reunited with my biological father, and so I kind of got to almost see in real time like the shift in my own behavior. So for me, it's one of those things where I recognize like we need good law enforcement, but also we really need some sound social services, because that's what we use to help pick ourselves up and move through the process and stay alive and stay safe. So to me, I recognize that, a lot of what is being talked about through the defund process is about, diverting to social services. But to me, it's not an ultimatum. It's not an either or. It's something that needs to grow together, because the two of them put together really get you to a place where people are safe, secure, law enforcement's going to less crime, people are committing less crime. But for me, that's who I am. That's my life experience has driven me. But it's also created a very fierce competitor. Now that I'm in kind of, I guess, my prime of my adulthood, like I'm very, very competitive. So when it came to seeing how the sheriff's office was being ran, I just didn't agree with it. And so, I got challenged, and it was kind of one of those things where if you think you can do better, then run against me. And I did. And now here we are.
Sheriff Sanders, sounds like leadership to me, my friend. Hey, thank you so much for your time. These conversations I know sometimes aren't easy, but I appreciate your transparency. We got to do this again, my man.
Yeah. So maybe sometime, can you have me on the show for something that's not bad news? Let's talk about something good next time.
Okay. Oh, wait. You like the Seahawks? You like the Mariners?
I'm a Philly fan, so sorry. The Eagles are 4-0 though, so hey.
You know what? Let's go ahead and get out. Let's disconnect this interview right now. Thanks, Sheriff. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, coming up next, Agree to Disagree. Gee and Ursula. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value, and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today, and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour, and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details. Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Most roofers around here give you one option. Two if you're lucky. Asphalt shingles and maybe metal. That's like going to a restaurant and the only thing on the menu is salad. Sure, there are a few kinds, but they're all pretty much the same, and none of them will keep you satisfied for long. I'm Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, and we serve up real choices. Yeah, we do asphalt shingles, sure, but what about something more substantial, like EuroShield rubber tiles that last a lifetime? Or a beautiful, durable metal roof that can handle Seattle's weather like a champ. We even install cedar shake, stone, copper, and walkable rooftop decks. Most roofers stick to what's easy. At RoofSmart, we offer what's best for you. Now, those are what we call options. For anything is possible roofing, call RoofSmart at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
Too many breakup songs getting you down? Put a little bossa nova in the playlist. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Get a good-to-go pass to save $2 every time you use it, and on other toll roads in Washington.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch.
It is ridiculous. It is irresponsible and dangerous.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson, as the federal government shutdown continues. He says Republicans have a bill that would fund the government, but it does not extend tax credits for health care. And without that, Democrats say millions of Americans would see their premiums skyrocket. Partisan politics is reportedly showing up in emails from federal agencies explaining which services are open, closed, or delayed during the shutdown. This veteran says he got a message from the VA blaming the Democrats.
Federal agencies should never be making political statements because they're supposed to serve all of us.
Navy veteran Daniel Bennett talking to KIRO 7 TV. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson has more on the impact of the federal government shutdown.
I checked in with housing services across Western Washington who say they will get their funding from the Department of Housing and Urban Development to keep operating through at least October. The passport office, that is open, and the Department of Veteran Affairs says their hospital services are intact, while career, transitional, and certain support hotlines will go down until funding is restored.
You should still be able to receive your Medicare, Medicaid, or Affordable Care Act coverage during the shutdown. Overseas, police say a man drove into people outside a synagogue in Manchester, England, and then began stabbing them. Chief Constable Sir Stephen Watson.
We can confirm that 2 members of our Jewish community have sadly died as a result of this attack.
Officers fatally shot the suspect. The attack comes on the holiest day of the Jewish year, Yom Kippur. Police are labeling this a terror attack. Anti-Semitic attacks have increased since the war in Gaza began. Israel says it's pressing forward with its operations in Gaza City to cripple Hamas terrorists. CBS's Deborah Pattis says the situation for civilians, though, is dire.
There are no international humanitarian organizations left in Gaza City after Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross suspended operations there, saying it is too dangerous.
Hamas is yet to respond to a U.S. peace plan for Gaza. A troubling new report shows the private sector lost 32,000 jobs in the U.S. in September. Analysts had expected gains. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 146 points, NASDAQ ahead 95. KIRO News Radio traffic, here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Heather. If you're just hitting the road, you don't have a thing to worry about. It is wide open across the map. Of course, we do have that minor backup northbound 167 through Pacific, where you're down to a single lane. That's adding about 10 minutes to your drive. Now, you can get right past this by simply heading over to that West Valley Highway. If you don't make the switch by 24th Street, you're stuck in that 2-mile backup. Heading through Seattle, South 5, a little crowded through Northgate, Linwood to Seattle, about a 20-minute trip, and North 5, a little crowded at the West Seattle Bridge up to I-90. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Showers today with highs in the mid-60s. It's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. We just had Sheriff Derek Sanders here on the show, and hey, Thurston County, y'all got a real one down there. You got a leader down there who wears a badge, right? And obviously has earned your trust so much so that you guys pulled up and at that commissioners meeting and let the people know how you felt. You have someone who's not just talking, but there's actually living it when it comes to change, pushing for accountability, transparency, connection, and all of those things. And I think that, first of all, I can't believe the dude is only 32 years old. I mean, at 32 years old, I definitely was nowhere near that close to mature. Maybe Chef was at 32. Maybe you were that mature, Chef, but I know I wasn't. So, look, when you got a real one, I'll say it. Thurston County, you got a real one. You can see it. You can hear it. This is where good leadership, I keep telling you all, good leadership is a rare thing, but it's a powerful thing. So, Thurston County, tip of the hat to you. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Stop.
I don't know why.
Stop.
That sound makes me feel nostalgic. You know, nostalgic for this time when the internet. You remember this? When the internet came on a CD?
Do I remember? Look. Okay. If you're listening right now and you just heard that, tell me that didn't trigger you like it just triggered me. Tell me your mood didn't all of a sudden get a little foul right there. And Chef, listen, man, I can't speak for everyone else, but sometimes when you're on the internet and you're using dial-up, right? And so when you're using dial-up, people would call you, so your phone is automatically busy.
Yep.
But however, me, in my house, dial-up, it got to the point where I just quit. But dial-up ended up being, so when people, if they called, it would automatically kick me off. Bro, like, seriously, like Chef, there are some people, see, they started text in. Bruh, you triggered some people. I wasn't ready. You should have at least given us warning. We went through so much. You're looking something up. Let's just say you're right in the middle of something. You're trying to find out some information. Oh, my goodness. All of a sudden, boop, you get kicked off. That's because Billy is calling you on the other line. You think you want to talk to Billy? No, I don't.
You feel so strongly about this, you didn't even let me get the setup in. So the reason I'm bringing it up is that AOL has officially pulled the plug on dial-up internet. So the last paying AOL customers, and yeah, there are some people who still pay AOL, are being told to log off for good. And just it had me wondering, like, who had it better? Those of us who grew up with dial-up or the kids today who've only known broadband internet?
So I would say they have it better to never have gone through that experience. But when I do this show, a lot of times I got stories in my mind, right? Mm-hmm. So Anybody used to remember chat rooms?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Remember chat rooms? So check this out. I think I've told this story here. This is when I was living in San Diego. I went to a friend's house, and it was someone I knew. It was her friend, and so we were over there. Her husband is a high-ranking guy. He's in the Navy. Well, she, that's married, the wife, is not happy in her marriage, right? So she's hanging out in a chat room. She meets a guy in the chat room, and this is who she's talking to all the time. Follow me? So in this particular day, I was over there. The husband wasn't there, so we were speaking and talking about this topic freely. So she was saying how she met this guy, and he's wonderful, but she probably is not going to leave her husband because her husband makes so much money and all the benefits, but she's loving this guy who's in the chat room. She has not met the guy yet, but she has been head over heels with this guy, and she's been talking to this guy for a few months now. They have everything in common. Now, remember, this is like when the internet was fresh, right?
Yep.
It's not like today where you have the knowledge. Yep. Okay, back to the story. So she is loving this guy. He checks all the ballot, everything, crosses her T's, dots her I's. He's the perfect person that she talks to, so much so that she's actually getting close. She's actually thought about leaving her husband. So about a month later, that story's done. About a month later, I talked to my friend again. She says, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What? What happened?" Remember the guy that she was so in love with in the chat room? I'm like, yeah, I remember that. The one that she wanted to leave her husband for, but she was afraid. And she talked to him about everything, about the finances and his money, and he's a chief or something like that in the Navy. Remember that story? Yes. Come to find out that the person in the chat room that she was talking to the entire time was her husband.
What?
He built a case around that, and they got a divorce, and boom.
She got catfished by her own husband in like 1997?
Her own husband. It was him the entire time. Tyson from the 808 says it was her husband. Tyson, you're right. It's straight out of a movie. It was literally her husband, only it needs to be a Netflix special.
See, I remember being able to talk to people in the chat rooms with my buddies in the tech lab when I was in 7th grade. And, you assumed that you were talking to, a 40-year-old woman. I did not know at the time. I was probably talking to another, 11-year-old boy. Those chat rooms were dangerous, man.
The chat rooms.
Dude, the dial-up frustrations. Yes. The only time I have ever punched a hole in my parents' walls was when my brother was on the internet and would not get off, and I was supposed to have a girl call me that evening. I didn't know that he was logged on, never got a phone call, and I was like, "You were on the computer the whole time?" Boom! That's important stuff. You had life moments just completely passed you by.
Now, time out. There are text messages coming in saying about a Pina Colada song. Now, I know the song. I don't know the words because they said that story that I told seemed like it comes from Pina Colada. Again, I don't know the words. But as far as the story, straight, legit story. She got busted in the chat room, and the entire time it was her husband. Duh, he wasn't at home, so she was at home. Duh, he was away. It's crazy.
Man, what if she actually fell in love with him again, though? And they got back together instead of it being a divorce case. Could have had a happy ending.
I don't know the end of that story. Hey, coming up next, I don't want to do text messages, so we'll come up with something to talk about. Actually, I got something good to talk about. We'll talk about something good next, and then we'll have words to live by. It's Gee and Ursula.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope, because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. When it comes to the technology that the IRS is using, they're updating systems that haven't been updated in decades. And while that might sound great for them, it's usually bad for the taxpayer who owes.
It is, and their systems, unfortunately, they're just legacy systems. If you try to make an inquiry on some things, it's like you got to know how to use programming language to find it. But they are working on updating that system, and I hope that really they do, because they'll serve us better, the taxpayer better, and get things done quicker. The other thing they're doing is AI, just like every organization. So they're already using it to some extent to put in profile of certain things that they want to look for in a taxpayer and find those people and go after them or see what's going on, why they're not getting their money.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile.
I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees in transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Oh, the show went by fast. We appreciate you all hanging out. And, of course, Nick and Chef, they helped the show go by as fast as well. You know, Nikki texted in because, as you all know, I don't like doing text messages. I think it's boring. But Nikki says, hey, G, what's your favorite fall comfort food and drinks? Chef, what's yours? Something positive to look forward to as the weather changes. Well, let's start off with that. By the way, text in your favorite comfort food. Only pick one. Unfortunately, I think my favorite comfort food is homemade macaroni and cheese. And that's the problem with the fourth quarter of the year as we go into the holiday season, Chef. Halloween's coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. That's the problem. You got to stay away from the comfort foods. Eat the foods that you eat in the summer. Not in the winter, because that stuff you eat in the winter will have you, watch this, gain another coat.
I know, and it's worth it. I just plan on gaining 15 pounds in the winter now. It's just what I do. So I go for like braised meats, a lot of braised meats, so like braised lamb, shanks, short ribs. I do a ton of soups, so, you know, creamy lemon chicken rice soup, wild mushroom soup. Anything that I can throw bones and stock into. But fall for me is also like spices. Nutmeg, mace, cardamom, cinnamon, clove, allspice, ginger, all that good stuff. I always make like a giant batch of chai syrup.
Right.
To have chai tea all throughout the fall and winter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, comfort food, man. I love it.
Brother Nick, what's up, man?
It's all about the slow cooker when it comes up in the fall and the winter, man. Make good, mean chicken pot pie, maybe some chili on the side. But when I was growing up, too, I loved the classic, you know, get the chicken patties in the bag and then on the bun. And those are good snacks in the day. But then also a snack, if you microwave some popcorn for the movies, then you melt some cheese on top of it. And then you microwave it a little more. You get a little melted cheese on your popcorn. It's pretty good if you try it.
Time out. Wait a minute. I've never heard of anybody melting cheese on popcorn. Nick?
It's pretty good if you try it. I know that people have seasoning, but real cheese on popcorn.
I have never heard of this in my life.
I grew up with it, and I still have it today with my movies.
You know what, Nick? A lot of times you be having some different type of thing. Wasn't it you talking about marshmallows and peanut butter?
Yep. Yeah.
What is that? Like Kentucky poutine? Like melted cheese on... I know about the fries and stuff. Whoa.
Okay, let's go to the text line. Let's see what y'all talking about. Here we go. John in Snohomish says Costco mac and cheese. Pretty dang good. Ty in Tacoma says red beans and rice and some hot water cornbread. Okay, hold on. I probably have way too much cornbread during this time of the year. And by the way, if your cornbread, if whoever's making the cornbread, don't be mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. But if you're having cornbread and it does not come out of a cast iron skillet, that cornbread ain't that good. You know, it might be good, but it's not being its best. It's got to be in a cast iron skillet. Colby says chowder. Let's see here. Ryan in the 360 says, I make my own homemade fresh squeezed cider by collecting wild apples from my community and grinding them and pressing them myself. That's my fall seasonal treat.
Dude, that's a great idea. There's tons of trees that nobody picks.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, let's see here. Allie in Tacoma says, chai syrup? What is that?
Chai syrup?
Chai syrup?
Like chai tea. Chai tea?
Yeah.
It's a heavily spiced syrup that's used as a base for Indian sweet tea.
Nikki says,
Delicious.
I'm using my slow cooker today, making some chicken coconut curry from scratch. Helps.
Hey now.
Helps we have Indian spice store right down the road. All right, chef, let's get to the words to live by.
Well, in honor of the dial-up days that some of us experienced, I would like to share this quote from Aristotle because I think we did have it better because we had to wait. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Why are you laughing?
Nick!
Instant gratification for these
Wasn't
kids.
expecting that one.
Nick!
Well, who's to judge the fashion trend Seattle loves and knows? From feeling comfy everywhere to a socks and sandals show? Because round here, we don't recognize a good outfit from bad. Even G, who's changed his clothing attitude from the angry dad.
And as long as I got my suit and tie.
So wear whatever floats your boat and keeps your cozy state rather than some dial-up sounds chef whipped up that weren't so great. That was like scratching a chalkboard while drinking some yellow mustard, sending some chills down my spine over here. Jeez.
Hey, I got to tell you guys something. I'm going to share something with you. I can't wait for Ursula to get back. And I'm going to tell you why, Chef. I think I'm too serious. I'm too professional. It's not fun. I'd rather, as you all know, as you guys can see, like when Ursula's here, I'm on recess the entire show.
You want to mix it up the rest of the week? Take a little lighter?
Nah, we got to do what we got to do. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do. Hey, thanks, Chef. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Nick, appreciate everything you do, man. Brother. Thank you. Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. We appreciate you for rocking with us. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Hey. Oh.
Hey, how is your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Imagine homes so well designed and so luxurious, they'll be setting the standard for decades. You're imagining a Mainview home. Now imagine a Mainview home on sale, saving $50,000 to $120,000.
Isn't that what Brett and Amy bought? Yeah, it's a Mainview, and they saved a bundle. What are you doing? Looking at the Mainview website. It's now or never.
What's better than a Mainview home? A Mainview home on sale. Mainview communities across the Puget Sound.
Buy more, save more at Dania Furniture. For a limited time, save $200 instantly for every $800 you spend in our showroom. It's the perfect way to complete your look for less or splurge on your dream piece for your living room, dining room, outdoor space, home office, or bedroom. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at daniafurniture.com.
If you're a veteran struggling with your monthly bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage has some good news for you.
Rates have dropped recently, and this could be a great time for our veterans to think about a cash-out refinance to get out of your high-interest rate debt. For example, one of our clients had a 2.25% VA loan, but he owed more than $155,000 on credit cards and a home equity loan. So we paid off all of that debt and replaced his mortgage with a VA cash-out refinance. And the new VA loan saved him $1,268 per month. So give us a call and see if a VA cash-out refi can help save you money. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you can help non-veterans as well.
That's right. If you have a conventional loan, we'll run the numbers and see if we can help save you money, too.
Honest advice you can trust from the VA loan experts, Best Mortgage. Call now, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Tune in each Tuesday morning for KIRO's Financial Update, sponsored by Madrona Financial. Each Tuesday at 6:45, Charlie Harger talks with CPA Brian Evans about what's going on in the financial world and how that affects you. Get the latest information and updates that impact your ability to navigate these financial times. Charlie and Brian discuss the stock market, retirement planning, interest rates, and anything else that will help you understand what's going on in your financial life. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 6:45. Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KIRO FM and HD1.